What if the smallest action could unlock your greatest potential? In the 5-second rule, transform your life, work, and confidence with everyday courage. Mel Robbins introduces a simple but powerful tool to help you overcome hesitation, take control, and change your life. This is the story of how I used the 5-second rule to silence my doubts, ignite my courage, and achieve goals I once thought were impossible. Through this journey, I learned that just 5 seconds could be the difference between holding back and moving forward. Those 5 seconds became a bridge, from hesitation to action, from fear to confidence, and from ordinary to extraordinary. Robbins begins by sharing the story of how she stumbled upon the 5-second rule during a period of deep personal struggle. Feeling stuck and overwhelmed, she discovered that counting backward from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 was enough to break the cycle of procrastination and hesitation, propelling her into action. This simple act transformed her mornings and eventually her entire approach to life. I found her story incredibly relatable. Like Robbins, I often felt paralyzed by indecision, overthinking even the smallest steps. Applying the 5-second rule for the first time was both liberating and empowering. I used it to overcome the resistance I felt toward tackling a long-postponed project. Counting backward gave me a moment to shift my mindset from hesitation to determination. Over time, this simple technique became my go-to strategy for breaking free from inertia. This chapter taught me that taking action doesn't require perfection. It requires courage. The 5-second rule gave me the push I needed to stop overthinking and start doing, proving that even the smallest actions can lead to significant momentum. Robbins explains that hesitation is often a learned behavior, rooted in fear and self-doubt. The 5-second rule interrupts this pattern, creating a window of opportunity to act before doubt takes over. She emphasizes that confidence is built through action, not the absence of fear. Every moment of hesitation is an opportunity to choose differently. I began applying the 5-second rule to situations where hesitation held me back. Whether it was speaking up in a meeting or initiating a difficult conversation, counting backward helped me bypass my doubts and take action. Each time I pushed through, I felt my confidence grow. The more I used the rule, the more I realized that hesitation was simply a mental barrier, one I had the power to dismantle. This chapter reminded me that hesitation is a barrier we create. By interrupting it with action, I could break free from self-imposed limitations and seize opportunities, one decision at a time. Fear, Robbins explains, is often the root cause of inaction. The 5-second rule provides a tool for facing fears head-on by breaking them into manageable steps. She argues that courage is a choice, made one small decision at a time. The rule helps us act before fear has a chance to paralyze us. I started using the 5-second rule to tackle fears that had been holding me back for years. For instance, I had always been terrified of public speaking. Using the rule, I counted down and volunteered for a small presentation at work. To my surprise, the experience wasn't as daunting as I had imagined, and it marked the beginning of a journey toward greater confidence. Each act of courage, no matter how small, built on the last. This chapter taught me that fear loses its power when faced with action. By choosing courage in small moments, I could conquer fears that once felt insurmountable and open myself to new possibilities. Robbins highlights that the 5-second rule isn't just about overcoming hesitation. It's also a tool for creating positive habits. By using the rule to disrupt old patterns and initiate new behaviors, we can rewire our brains for success. Small actions, taken consistently, have the power to create lasting change. I began applying the 5-second rule to build habits that aligned with my goals. For example, I used it to wake up earlier, exercise consistently, and prioritize self-care. Counting down from 5 created a mental shift that helped me move from intention to action, even when motivation was lacking. Over time, these actions became habits that supported my growth. This chapter taught me that small actions, repeated consistently, lead to big changes. By leveraging the 5-second rule, I could create habits that supported my growth and well-being, proving that success is built one step at a time. Robbins delves into the neuroscience behind the 5-second rule, explaining how it works by activating the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making and focus. This activation helps override the brain's default tendency to avoid discomfort and seek safety. By counting backward, we disrupt autopilot thinking and create space for intentional action. Understanding the science behind the rule deepened my commitment to using it. I realized that each time I counted down and took action, I was literally rewiring my brain to become more resilient and proactive. This knowledge made the process feel even more empowering. I began to see the rule as not just a motivational tool, but a mechanism for long-term personal transformation. This chapter reminded me that the 5-second rule isn't just a mental trick. It's a scientifically grounded tool for reshaping behavior and building confidence through deliberate action. The beauty of the 5-second rule, Robbins emphasizes, is its versatility. It can be used in any area of life, from improving relationships to advancing your career. The key is to identify moments of hesitation and use the rule to bridge the gap between intention and action. I began experimenting with the 5-second rule in various aspects of my life. In my personal relationships, I used it to express gratitude, apologize, and resolve conflicts. At work, I used it to take on challenges, pitch new ideas, and step into leadership roles. Each application brought tangible results, reinforcing my belief in the rule's power to transform. I started to see every hesitation as an opportunity for growth. This chapter taught me that opportunities for growth are everywhere. By applying the 5-second rule consistently, I could maximize these moments and create meaningful change in both small and significant ways. Confidence, Robbins explains, is a byproduct of action. The more we push through hesitation and achieve small wins, the more confident we become in our ability to handle challenges. The 5-second rule provides a practical way to build this confidence, one decision at a time. I began to notice how my confidence grew with each successful application of the rule. Simple acts, like speaking up or trying something new, became stepping stones to a stronger sense of self-assurance. Over time, I started approaching challenges with a mindset of possibility rather than fear. Confidence became less about how I felt and more about what I did. This chapter reminded me that confidence isn't something we wait for. It's something we create through consistent, courageous action. Every small step reinforced my belief in my own capabilities. In the final chapter, Robbins ties together the principles of the 5-second rule, emphasizing that its true power lies in its ability to cultivate everyday courage. She challenges readers to use the rule not just for personal gain, but to make a positive impact on the world. I started viewing the 5-second rule as a way to align my actions with my values. Whether it was standing up for what I believed in or offering help to someone in need, the rule gave me the push I needed to act with integrity and purpose. This shift transformed the way I lived, making each day an opportunity to practice courage and create meaningful change. The rule became more than a tool. It became a philosophy. This chapter taught me that courage isn't a grand gesture. It's a series of small decisions that, together, shape a life of purpose and fulfillment. By acting with courage in small moments, I could contribute to a world of greater authenticity and compassion. The 5-second rule taught me that transformation starts with a single decision. By using this simple tool to overcome hesitation, face fears, and take action, I began to unlock my potential and create a life I was proud of. How can you use the 5-second rule to transform your life today? Remember, it only takes 5 seconds to change your story and your future. With every countdown, you hold the power to take control and live the life you deserve.